welcome to JINGYI's channel. This is my first time recording a video, so if you notice my eyes wandering a bit or my speaking pace seems a little off, it's not your internet, it's just me being a little nervous. But that's okay. Today we are not focusing on the camera. Instead, I want to talk about something I have been learning recently, teaching and learning. First, let me ask you a question. Why is it some students seem to do pretty well on English exams, but when it comes to real-life communication, they can barely use English? Is it really because they are not working hard enough, or could it be that from the very beginning we have been teaching them how to learn, based on fixed teaching beliefs or certain teaching methods? Recently, I have been reading some studies on teaching conceptions. These studies all focus on the same question: how teachers view teaching, whether it affects how students learn, and ultimately how much they can learn. Based on 5 relevant studies, I have put together a simple framework that I want to share with you in a few minutes. First up, teacher-centered conceptions of teaching. In this understanding, teaching is seen primarily as a systematic delivery of knowledge, with the teacher taking the lead. Common classroom activities include grammar explanations, vocabulary memorization, translation exercises, and test preparation. Research shows that when classrooms operate this way for a long time, students are more likely to adopt a surface learning approach, focusing on completing tasks and memorization. The second type is student-centered conceptions of teaching. Here, teaching is more like a guiding process, emphasizing understanding, interest, and student autonomy. Classroom activities are more likely to include task-based discussions, role plays, and authentic language use. Under the right teaching and learning conditions, this kind of practice is more likely to support students in engaging in deep learning. However, these studies also emphasize an important point. Teaching conceptions themselves do not directly learning outcomes. Instead, teaching conceptions usually influence learning through specific teaching practices which are shaped by the learning environment. This environment includes factors like assessment systems, teaching resources, classroom interactions, atmosphere, and the characteristics of the subject itself. So, even if a teacher supports a student-centered approach, their actual teaching may be significantly constrained in a high exam-oriented environment. When different teaching practices influence students' learning approaches over time, differences in learning outcomes gradually emerge. Students who primarily engage in surface learning tend to perform well on mechanic tasks, but may struggle in real-life language use and knowledge transfer. In contrast, deep learning supports understanding, integration, and application of knowledge. Although the process may be slower, it's more beneficial for long-term development. Therefore, learning outcomes are not only reflected in grades but also in whether learning continues to happen over time. At the end of the video, I'd like to show you a mind map that summarizes what I just talked about. You will see that teaching conceptions don't directly lead to outcomes. They work through teaching practices moderated by the learning environment to shape students' learning approaches, which ultimately affects learning outcomes. I created this diagram while reading this study to help myself understand the overall logic. For me, the most important takeaway from these studies isn't about which teaching method is right. It's about constantly reflecting. How am I teaching students how to learn, and how can I choose the right teaching conception? If you are a teacher or if you have been a student before, which kind of classroom do you feel you actually learn in? Feel free to share your experiences in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you next time.